Alright, so this one probably just going to be a lot shorter. I don't think I'm going to read very much because I don't feel like it too much. Anyways, the text from Gospel of Mary Magdalene, chapter 1. Will matter be completely destroyed as a result? The Savior responded by saying, every nature, every molded form, every creature existing within and beside one another, they will disintegrate back into their proper root. For matter's nature is dissolved into what pertains to matter's nature. Anyone with 2 ears who can hear should pay attention. All right, chapter 2. Peter to the Lord. Then Peter told him, you've gone over every topic with us. Sorry, here's poking me in the eye. You've gone over every topic with us. Tell us one more thing. What is the world's sin? In response, the Savior said, there is no such thing as sin. Rather, you are the source of sin when you behave in line with the nature of adultery, which is referred to as sin. As a result, the good arrived among you, pursuing the good that belongs to all natures. It will place it in its root. He then went on. He stated, this is why you die and get sick, because you love what deceives you. Anyone who thinks should think about these issues. Anyone who thinks should think about these issues. If you weren't thinking, you wouldn't have thought that. That's my own. Sorry, I just added that. Anyone who thinks should think about these issues. Matter gave birth to a passion that has no image, since it stems from what is antithetical to nature. The entire body suddenly went into a terrible state of disorientation. This is why I said to you, be satisfied at heart, while staying disgruntled and disobedient. Indeed, be contented and agreeable only in the presence of that other image of nature. Anyone with 2 hearing ears should pay attention. I apparently should, because I don't know what he's talking about. After these things, the Blessed One greeted everyone. He said, peace be with you. Acquire my tranquility inside yourself. Be wary of what you're doing, so that no one deceives you by saying, look here or look there, because you have the child of true humanity within you. Adhere to it. Those who look for it will discover it. Go then and preach the kingdom's good news. Do not impose any rules beyond those I have established for you, nor promulgate law like the one lawgiver, or you will be dominated by it. Chapter 3. Mary comforts the other disciples. They, on the other hand, were distraught and sobbed uncontrollably. How will we communicate the good news about the realm of the child of the true humanity to the rest of the world? They wondered, how will they spare us if they didn't spare him? Mary then got up and walked around the room. She addressed her brothers and sisters and said hello to them all. Do not weep or be troubled, and do not allow yourself to be worried. They were nevertheless distraught and grieved bitterly. How are we going to deliver the good news about the realm of the child of the true humanity to the rest of the world? They wondered. How will they spare us if they didn't spare him? Chapter 4. Mary then stood up. She addressed all her brothers and sisters and greeted them all. Do not weep or be worried, and do not let your hearts be divided, because God's grace will be with you and all will be with you all and protect you. Instead, we should laud his brilliance. We were prepared and made true as a result of his efforts, humans to be precise. After Mary had stated these things, she swung their hearts around in the direction of the good. 10, and they started to debate about the Savior's words. Sister, we know that the Savior loved you more than all other women, Peter told Mary. Tell us what you recall about the Savior's words and the things you know that we don't because we haven't heard them. I'll teach you about what is concealed from you, Mary replied, and she started saying these things to them. I saw the Lord in a vision, and I said to him, Lord, I saw you today in a vision, she explained. How fantastic you are for not flinching at seeing me, he replied, because the treasure is found where the mind is. So, Lord, does a person who gets a vision view it with their soul or with their spirit? I asked. Ooh, what an interesting question. Let's see. I didn't see you go down, but I now saw you go up, Desire explained. So, why do you lie when you're mine? I saw you, the soul said. You hadn't seen me, and you didn't know who I was. You mistook the outfit I was wearing for my real identity. And you didn't know who I was. It left with much joy after saying these things. It arrived to the third power, which is known as ignorance. Again, where are you going? It asked, intently expecting thy soul. I don't know if that's a typo. I don't understand. Intently expecting thy soul. D-I-E, soul. Wickedness has shackled you. You are indeed shackled. Don't pass judgment. Why do you judge me when I haven't passed judgment? Asked the soul. I was bound, but I did not bind myself. They didn't recognize me, but I've realized that the cosmos, both earthly and heavenly, is about to be dissolved. After bringing the third power to naught, the soul ascended to see the fourth power. It came in 7 different variations. The first realm is darkness. The second realm is desire. The third realm is ignorance. The fourth realm is passion for death. The fifth realm is the realm of the body. The sixth realm is foolish wisdom of the flesh. The seventh realm is the wisdom of the wrathful person. These are the 7 wrathful powers. Where are you coming from, human killer, and where are you going, space conqueror? They inquired of the soul. I don't know what's happening, but this is incredible. I'm loving that part. That was fun. All right. Andrew responded to the brothers and sisters, saying, say what you want about what she has stated, but I do not believe the Savior said these things, or even taught these principles or weird concepts. Peter answered by expressing similar worries. He questioned them about the Savior, saying, did he and then speak with a woman in secret about our knowledge? Are we supposed to turn around and listen in front of her? Did he pick her over us? Then Mary grieved and asked Peter, my brother Peter, what are you doing? What are you imagining? Do you believe I came up with these ideas on my own, myself in my heart, or am I lying about the Savior? Sorry, I think there's just a lot of typos in this thing. Peter, you have always been, Levi replied. Speaking to Peter, a person who is enraged, now I see you squabbling with the woman. Who are you, adversaries, if the Savior made her worthy? Would you then reject her on your part? Without a doubt, the Savior's wisdom, she is extremely dependable. That's why he preferred her to us. Rather, we should feel embarrassed. We should dress ourselves with the perfect human, obtain it for ourselves as he commanded, and proclaim the good news without setting down any conditions, other rule or regulation that contradicts what the Savior said. After he spoke these things, they began going out to instruct and to preach. Throughout its mini narrative, the Gospel of Mary... Oh, wait. Now it's... I don't know what just happened. Okay. So that was through chapter 7, and now it's like... Is it over? I don't know, it's giving more descriptions now. I guess I'll read this. Characters in the Gospel of Mary. Throughout its mini narrative, the Gospel of Mary mentions a number of people. All of them come without a preamble, at least in the text that exists. They appear to be well known to the readers who don't need any further knowledge about them to understand what's being stated. Furthermore, these are figures who are well known in Christian tradition. Jesus, the text's savior and revealer, is never identified directly. The narrator nearly always refers to him as a savior throughout the existing sections of the book. The narrator's only other description of him in the allusions is that he is the fortunate one. Mary refers to him as Lord in the remarks ascribed to her. Despite the fact that the name Jesus does not occur in this passage, there is little question that the Savior is to be identified with Jesus. The commissioning at the end of the Savior's discourse with his disciples in 8:14 through 12 may be part of an intentional, I think that's Mark 8. No, I don't know what this is. No, I don't know what this is. With his discourse with his disciples in 8:14 through 12 may be part of an intentional attempt to assert identity between the revealer here and the Jesus of the New Testament passages or traditions. Furthermore, the names of the disciples mentioned here, Peter, Andrew, Levi, Mary, are all associated with Jesus in the New Testament and other texts, and are brought into the narrative as evidently well known without any introduction or explanation. Part of the goal of introducing them could have been to bolster the claim of the revealer's identification as Jesus. It's also worth noting that there's no evidence of a schism or separation between the Savior and the earthly Jesus. The question of whether the Gospel of Mary could be considered a Gnostic book is now under discussion. Part of the debate over whether so-called Gnostic writings provide a sufficiently unwed worldview or collection of concepts for a single term, Gnostic, to be acceptable and to encompass what appears to be a very wide variety of divergent text centers around this topic. However, insofar as certain so-called Gnostic passages purport to discriminate between the earthly Jesus and the heavenly Redeemer, it's worth noting that the Gospel of Mary makes no such distinction. Indeed, the disciples' allusion to the Savior being not spared suggests that the Savior is assumed to have really severe and died, thus heightening the disciples' fear and a similar destiny. As a result, the Gospel of Mary has no evidence of Christology. All right, now it's Mary Magdalene. One of the keys of the Gospel of Mary is, of course, the person named Mary, who is referenced in the colophon, I don't know, and so gives the Gospel its title and current name. Beyond the statement of her name, the identification of this individual is not specified anywhere in the existing section of the book. In Christian history, a number of Mary are linked with the Jesus tale, particularly Mary, the mother of Jesus. The vast majority of scholars currently believe that the Mary of the Gospel of Mary is Mary Magdalene, as she is known from the canonical Gospels. A lot of variables contribute to this identification. Second, the situation depicted in the Gospel of Mary, in which Mary is in some kind of conflict with Peter, her status being questioned, but she is also defined by a claim made by a third party about her unique position in the Savior's journey, is consistent with statements made in other Gnostic texts about Mary Magdalene. For example, the Gospel of Philip, Jesus is claimed to have loved Mary Magdalene more than all the disciples, a claim that is strikingly similar to Levi's statement in the Gospel of Mary that the Savior loved her more than us. Others have questioned Mary Magdalene's, rather than Mary, the mother of Jesus, position in various passages, notably in Pistis Sophia, the image of Mary as someone whom Jesus loved especially more than the other disciple, and who provoked jealousy and resentment from the others, including Peter, clearly was a broader picture of such features associated specifically with Mary Magdalene and other Gnostic texts of the general time when the Gospel of Mary must have been written. Sorry, my eyes are burning. More broadly, if the Mary here is meant to represent Mary Magdalene, her prominent place in the story corresponds well with the great frequency with which the person of Mary Magdalene appears as a discussion partner in the other Gnostic dialogues. Third, insomuch as the image of Mary here appears to represent a progression of traditions in the canonical Gospels, the portrayal is largely based on Mary Magdalene's traditions rather than Mary, the mother of Jesus. Above all, the overall concept that Mary had seen Jesus in a vision and talked with him is consistent with the New Testament narratives of Mary Magdalene seeing the resurrected Jesus in the garden of the first Easter day. the first Easter day, notably in John. Thus, Mary's words at the beginning of her vision, "I have seen the Lord," are an exact repeat of Mary Magdalene's word in John 20:18. Similarly, the mention of Mary sobbing may be a reference to the statement in John 20:11 regarding Mary Magdalene weeping. The statement in Luke 24:11 that the male disciples did not accept the evidence of the woman at the tomb, including Mary Magdalene, regarded their finding the tomb empty, may have inspired the allusion to Andrew not believing Mary's testimony. On rare occasions, attempts have been made to cast doubt on the identification of Mary with Mary Magdalene, implying that Mary, the mother of Jesus, was in mind. E. Lucchesi, for example, has alluded to some stories in which Mary, Jesus' mother, is the receiver of a resurrection appearance. However, Marjanin has demonstrated that these are very recent. Shoemaker has also argued that the legends of Mary Magdalene and Mary, the mother of Jesus, are false. At different points in his life, Jesus and Mary may have been mixed up. It's possible that the person who is the subject of Peter's accusation in Pistis Sophia, Mary, Jesus' mother, is known as the Blessed Mother of Jesus, in part because she is termed blessed throughout the Bible. Aside from Luke's Mary and Brock's Mary, are also referred to as blessed. Pistis Sophia's comprehensive study appeared to have proved that the Mary mentioned in the Pistis passage is the same Mary. The above-mentioned Sophia is definitely distinct from Mary. Is definitely distinct from Mary, the mother of Jesus. Jesus is referenced in the text elsewhere. Almost probably this is the case, that at some point in the future, stories concerning Mary, Jesus' mother, and Mary Magdalene and Mary of Bethany were misunderstood. Nonetheless, there is no actual difference between them. There is proof in the Gospel of Mary that this was the case. It is therefore extremely likely that when the author of the Gospel of Mary refers to a figure named Mary, he is referring to the individual Mary Magdalene rather than any other Mary. All of that, I think, was not nonsense to me, but a bit useless. Like I said, I think they're all the same Mary. Goodness. Alright, I'm going to stop there. Next is wanting to talk about Peter, then Andrew. This is just describing the characters. I don't know why. I don't know if there's actually more text. I was hoping there would be. I hope it doesn't just end with them. It looks like there's a lot more descriptions, though. I don't know. Maybe it'll go back into the text later. I don't know. We'll see.